It is time once again for me to review another album that I have been anticipating this year in 2013. Today I'm reviewing Scale the Summit's new album entitled The Migration. If you don't know about this band, because a lot of people that I do know do not know about this band, and this band is not well known, they are an instrumental progressive metal band that has been around for a couple years. This is their fourth studio album release, and I was just blown away by this album. I do have the computer here, of course, so I don't mess up names and band names and stuff like that, but let me get to the main point right now. This album is beautiful. That's the only word that keeps coming back to mind when I keep hearing in this album over and over and over again. This is their fourth studio album release, like I've said before. And the thing is about this is that each album, beginning with their first release, they're improving. They're getting better. Musically, this album is their top-notch best stuff. Their best work, in my opinion. This album contains some really beautiful music, some really crazy, hectic, technical music, and just all around a good sound. And the music is no different. The music is just amazing. It just seems like every album, the players are getting better. They're getting more technical. They're getting more intriguing with their melodies, their harmonies, the way they write the riffs, the way they put the songs together, because each album from their first one, it seems like they're evolving as musicians, getting more mature with their songs, and they're able to freeform. And as like I've been saying, how they are an instrumental progressive metal band, is that there's no vocalist, so the freeform factor is there. Any type of thing that they want to write, they can, with no barrier of, okay, well, we have to put vocals somewhere. For this band, they can do whatever they want. They can write whatever they want, and they can just do whatever they want. And on this album, The Migration, like I've been saying, they have reached another level with this music. It's just mind-blowing what this band is accomplishing when they've only been around for 4 albums now. It is just impressive material from a band that really, you usually don't see material like this from bands until they're like 7, 8, 9, 10 albums in, where they've really pushed themselves to the limit. And each album, it feels like they're pushing themselves even further to continue with this unique sound and this unique idea of progressive metal, but with no vocals. And you really see throughout this album how the different type of songwriting, where one song will focus around a melodic riff, or one song will focus around clean guitar bits, or one song focuses around the bass, which that's really interesting, is that since this is a free-form style band where they can just do whatever comes to mind, there's no barrier of vocals, the bass player gets a lot of attention on this album. And that's what I love from metal bands, is that the bass player gets attention. And on this album, we have a new guy named Mark, who replaced Jordan, who's been around on this band since the first 3 albums. But now we have Mark, and he really fits with the band very well. It's just impressive material, and just the way that these 3 guys have been playing together for a very long time, and how he came in, chemistry's right there, fits right in. We'll get into more about that as we get to the sound of the band, but my final things before I get to the sound of the band is that if you've not heard of this band, please check out this album, The Migration. It really is something to be heard. Like, I wish that every single metal fan could hear this album. I really hope that the band will grow a lot with this album release. I really hope. Let's get to the sound of the band, because if you are fans of this band, then you know, but I gotta get to the sound of it and really talk about what they've done to contribute to this album, because The Migration is just, it's epic. It's just an epic album. Okay, so we have Chris and Travis on 7-string guitars, not regular 6-string. So every album, it seems like these 2 guys get progressively better. They are able to come up with different styles of tapping, guitar solos, or just the way that they write their riffs. They get more interesting, they get more technical in some areas, they get more melodic in areas. And this album is just filled jam-packed with different types of riffs, different solos, different clean riffs, different sections where the guitar has an effect on it or something like that, or the solo kind of overlays everything else and kind of moves the song along. And it's not the rhythm guitar, it's the solo work that kind of leads the song on. this album with the guitar work is just jam-packed with a lot of variety of riffs and a lot of variety of guitar things that keep me interested, keep me going back to different songs going, okay, what am I missing here with the guitar part? What am I missing here? What am I missing here? Because there's so much stuff that you really have to pay attention in order to catch every little thing that they're doing, because they're doing a lot of guitar work in sometimes very short amount of time with these song lengths. But when the songs are getting longer, like with the closer, The Traveler, which is barely over 6 minutes, or the song Oracle, which is 5 minutes and 30 seconds, it just seems like that they're throwing so much stuff jam-packed that I wish their songs were longer. But the guitar tone sounds exactly what I was hoping for. They've improved on the guitar tone from their past album, The Collective, in 2011, and it's just jam-packed with so much stuff that guitar players, people that love guitar in general, will enjoy what they're doing on this album, because there's a lot of different stuff. Clean guitar tone, heavy riffs, melodic riffs, soft riffs, just overall a huge variety of stuff to really look into. Let me go into bass. Mark, the new guy. The thing about this is that each album, the bass is turned up, and the fact is that the bass player, Jordan, at the time when he was in the band, played a lot of bass parts, played different stuff than the guitars were doing to add another element to the song so you can hear something a little bit different. And with what Mark is doing here, Mark is doing the same thing. Mark has a lot of bass solos on this album. The bass tone is not like too heavy where it's, when he does a solo, it's like overlaying everything and everything else is shut down. The thing is, the guitars can do like a really interesting harmony thing, and the bass can just do whatever, do a solo, and it doesn't like throw you off. It doesn't sound weird. It goes well. It just works. That's the way they go with it. The bass tone is heavy when it wants to be, and it's really light when it needs to be as well. So Mark did an amazing job. A lot of good bass stuff here. Bass players will love this as well. It's really, really awesome. So we go into Pat, who's on drums and percussion. The thing about this band is that they don't like to stick with the same time signature throughout a song. They like to go through different time signatures and just to throw in different stuff to kind of throw people off guard if you're listening to the band, and they just like to do different stuff. So the drummer, Pat in this case, has to keep up and change time signatures and all that stuff. And the thing is that he is able to do all these really interesting drum parts, really interesting drum patterns, drum fills, and whatever the song needs, he will add it. And it's the way that he plays, it's really a unique thing to listen to, because he has a really cool playing style, and he fits right along with what the guitars and bass are doing. Even if both guitars and bass are doing completely different things, he can keep up and really give us a cool drum pattern and just add, once again, another element to maybe already a little bass thing that's doing something different than the rhythm guitars playing a riff. The solo, there's a solo going on, the drums give us something a little bit different. So all four band members are doing something different. It's really cool. It happens throughout the album, and it's really a cool thing. So the sound of this band, they're tight. They really write intriguing music. Just the music is just so impressive. If I had to say how this album came about, how this album how to compare it to sound-wise, Between the Bear to Me, I'd say a little bit about that. I'd say maybe a little bit Dream Theater-ish. The Ocean, which their album Pelagial, this material reminds me a lot of that. Those bands sound very similar. So if you know the band The Ocean, Between the Bear to Me, this band sounds exactly like, not exactly like them, but kind of reminds you of that. So that's really awesome as well. Some of my highlights, I'll of course put those in the description, the track listing and personnel, but I'll highlight the songs that I think are my personal favorites, which is Odyssey, which opens the album, which that was the single. Atlas Novus, which has a really interesting guitar part that continues. It's an effect they put on the guitar that's really interesting. The Olive Tree, that's a great track. Oracle, Evergreen, not same track, Oracle, Evergreen. The Dark Horse, The Traveler, which closes the album, which kind of sums up. Like that song is the longest track, The Traveler, and it has a really interesting opening bit to it. I'm like, what? And then it gets into this really interesting, cool part, and the song really just sums up what the whole album you just listened to was in one song, and it was really cool. So this album is amazing. My rating for this album, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. I think this album deserves a 10 out of 10. This album just has so much going on in it. My only gripe is I wish it was longer. So it's not really a gripe. But the thing is that this album just sums up why I love this band. A lot of different melodic stuff, guitar-wise, bass solos and really cool bass lines, drum patterns, The drums sound epic in the way that there's so much different time signatures that each band member has to keep up with it in some different way or form, depending on whatever they're playing. I love Skeletal Summit. I've loved all their material, and the Migration, to me, seems like their best work yet. So, 10 out of 10, that's my opinion. Thank you guys for watching. If you like me and you like the video, like the video. And if you like me and you want to see more, click my name or subscribe to see more. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.